Welcome everybody to the Bridgman Show for a Jinteki grinder stream, you could say, or grinder hybrid. It's Let me just pull up chat. Welcome everybody. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about the cornered animal archetype, which I created. However, it's similar to other Jinteki decks that have been out there in the past. Um, so it's been a long uh, the idea of playing this kind of agenda suite with Jinteki, where you have three elbows and a bunch of one pointers. Then in the past you could play something like Philotic Entanglement, which you cannot anymore. But way back in the day, you could also play Shipment from Tenin, which is now banned, and so that allowed you to sort of not create a remote server. You could just protect your centrals and then score these agendas from hand to deal damage to your opponent slowly, and you had very little to defend. Also, Kakugo meant that if they wanted to go through your centrals, you would be taking damage at the same time. There was a really effective mill card in Breached Dome, making milling your opponent out a lot faster. Shout out to Aksu, who's hyped about a Jinteki grinder. Yeah, so Kakuga would deal damage to you every time you went through it, so it really made this kind of strategy more potent. So there were quite a few cards here that you can't play anymore. Now, there was this list that the team worked on, and Sokka ended up bringing a version of this to US Nats and winning it which basically abuses Shipment from Tenin once again, score out agendas. This was after Shipment from Tenin and Kakuga were unbanned. So this Shipment from Uppsala type list, there were many different variations of this, but was what Null Signal was trying to get rid of. And when Personal Evolution was banned, Jinteki was out of favor for a while, especially because they lost Engram Flush and some of their nice ice cards. And so they wanted for Worlds in 2020, I believe, for to give a little bit of extra tools to Jinteki, and so they unbanned Shipment from Tenin and Kakugo. Now, I guess they figured since Personal Evolution was not legal, it wouldn't be as bad. I feel like maybe they were wrong, because this deck was very annoying to play against and quite a beast, I would say. Again, the same idea. You just sit on your ass and you score out agendas with Shipment from Tenin. Hey there, Harald, in the chat. You had, once again, Kakugu, which you could put on your central so that whenever they went through, they would keep taking damage. Polana would give you some drip money instead of the extra damage from PE, which wasn't as good, I think, but still a decent ability. And that would trigger almost every turn. So this is the point is, this has been an idea for quite some time, to grind your opponent out like this. Of course, even further back, you have potential unleashed lists, which would just recycle neural EMP and stuff like that, but you can't play PU anymore. I have from playing against this deck, which we were practicing for 2021 Worlds, or 2020. Yeah, I don't even remember what year. I think it was 2021 Worlds. We were practicing this style of PE, Polana, but no one actually ended up playing it, because we were too afraid that it would go to time, or whatever, that it was shaky in some way. But it was actually quite scary to play against, and then Sokka ended up bringing a refined version of it later and taking down US Nats, which was really cool. So the team had some experience with playing Jinteki Grinder, and which brings me to my list, Cornered Animal, that I was playing at Worlds last year and ended up getting fourth place with it. Although I will say that was mostly because of my runner deck. Um, but this deck was no slouch either. I think Corps were really struggling in this meta, and that's what made me go for this kind of deck. I was searching really, really hard. I was practicing a lot, trying to find a corp that felt stable, but a lot of things just felt like sort of a coin flip, or that you couldn't get like a real game out of it. It just felt like, I don't know, that I wasn't in control. Um, and then on a canoeing on a canoeing trip with my dad and my big brother, I thought up this idea, I guess inspired from all the previous PE lists I had seen over the years. So the runner I was playing to Axu was a Boat Chico version. You can look that up if you want to. That deck ended up, it didn't drop many games. It won every game in the top cut, and I think in Swiss it might have only dropped one or two games. So that one was really strong. Um, anyway, so this list is basically well, you're trying to do sort of the same thing, but you don't have all the grinder tools. You don't have Kagugo, you don't have shipment from Tenin. So what are you doing? No, at Tuxia, there was not a lot of PE at last Worlds. I not well. I don't remember how many there were. Actually, we could look it up. Let's check out on Always Be Running. We could check the event. So if we go to Worlds, there we go. We can actually see the percentage. So personal evolution was 9.5% of the corpse. So it's not nothing, but it's not big. It wasn't big. Like sports medal was big, I guess the biggest. Although you could say that PE was the second largest corp, tied with PD. So it wasn't like there was no representation, but Jinteki overall was not very well represented. Anyway, that's a tangent. But the point is, I had trouble finding a good corp because endurance made it really hard to rely on taxing your opponent with ice. It seems like the runners were too rich, and so a lot of the things I was trying was failing, and I ended up having this idea that runners, since Riseki was banned, they have to spend cards to make money, and they all play boat. And they were kind of greedy when it came to breaking sentries. There were Shapers that would play at 1 Ika. There were Anarchs that would play MK Ultra as their sentry breaker, which they still do. Some of them even only playing one copy of their sentry breaker. So there were a couple of things you could do here. Because they have to spend a lot of cards to get the money and to be able to break stuff, you can... dealing damage to them over time becomes more effective. So I made this little document here to try to illustrate this. So if you have a 45 card runner deck, let's say that the runner has to play 20 of those cards to basically have a decent chance of winning the game. That's just a random number pulled out of my ass. So let's say 20 cards. Well, that leaves them with 25 cards that they can use as hit points. Now, if they're playing against this kind of PE, they need probably to take at least 8 damage to get to match point. That means 6 points. That would be stealing an oboe, which is 5 damage, and then at least 3 damage from the other 3 agendas. So that means they now have 17 cards left. And you might say, well, 17 cards is still a lot. But then you have to account for the fact that every anemone they hit deals 2 damage to them. So you can go from 17 to now 15. If you hit a snare, now you're down at 12 cards. If a House of Knives is scored, that is 1 damage upon score and 3 more damage from the effect of House of Knives. Each score of House of Knives is losing 4 cards. Each sting score is at least 2 cards, and so on. So once you get a couple, once you know, when you chip away over time, you realize that these 17 cards isn't that much, and that's basically the point of the deck. Is if we can squeeze the amount of cards they have available, we can sort of make them run out of cards, and at that point we can just score oboes. Um, Now there is quite a lot to say about this. So for another thing about this is since everyone was playing boat, I was playing Wake Up Call. So this is a card that says that if the runner trash the corp card earned their last turn, we can choose one installed piece of hardware or non-virtual resource. Then they must trash that or take 4 meat damage. So this basically, the boat was of course a huge investment, 8 credits to install, but it made going through ice extremely cost efficient, was very valuable. And by playing Wake Up Call, we're forcing them to choose between having their boat um, or taking 4 meat damage. And again, if we look over here, if you have 17 cards that are disposable, taking 4 meat damage is like a fourth of your remaining life. So that's quite a big deal. So if you decide to keep the boat, you lose quite a big chunk of your remaining HP, and therefore Wake Up Call was a good call, pun intended. So the deck was playing all these tiny agendas as normal, and it was playing stock buyback to get cash back from all of the tiny points. So you were playing Kusanagi as well, because that's an agenda, but they also lose a hit point every time they steal one of them. So the deck would accelerate as they steal more agendas. They would actually get stronger as they steal more agendas, because once you get the stock buybacks rolling, you can start resing really powerful ice like Anansi without problem. You have enough cash to always trigger your snares. There was and a lot of the things in the deck cost a lot of cash. You want money to rest your Hokusai grids and so on. So a lot of the early game is like this sort of cat and mouse game where you're trying to get them to steal enough points for you to get the stock buybacks rolling, and you do that by threatening impactful scores. So you can threaten to score a Regenesis to get an oboe that you put in archives, but then they don't know what you put in archives, so they might run archives and they find that you just put Kusanagis in there, and suddenly your stock buybacks are very useful. However, if they don't run and it ends up being an oboe, then they can get punished by a Regenesis score. So maybe they run the remote to avoid this and try to steal the Regenesis, but maybe then you put a Kusanagi in the remote, and again, you get the stock buyback. House of Knives score are also very impactful. The most impactful is getting a oboe with Regenesis. That's very hard to do. House of Knives maybe the second most impactful, and then Sting really impactful as well. Longevity Serum was a big deal because it was 2 points, so whoever got this 2-pointer would have a decent advantage. Also, this one allowed you to shuffle back some cards, which was really good. But now you have more options, which we will get to. So you're forcing them to steal some agenda points. You get the stock buybacks rolling, and then you sort of reinforce your board state with strong, good ice that was hard for them to get through. Like Anansi requires 4 boat counters to break completely with boats, and if they want to do it with their Sentry Breaker and their Anarch, it's 9 credits with MK Ultra to break this. And you basically cannot afford to let this fire a lot. Like again, going back to the discussion about HP, if you have 17 HP and Anansi fires and you lose 4 of that HP, again, that's a big chunk of your life. So you're trying to avoid as much as possible to take this damage. So the runners were squeezed between having enough cash to break the ice, choosing between their boat and their life points, and so you're just making it hard for the runners to sort of have enough of the stuff that they want to win the game. So that was basically the plan of the deck. You eventually create a remote where you can start never advancing cards. So you just put a card in there, If they want to check it, they have to go through all the ice, and if they steal a 1-pointer, that's not that big of a reward for them. But if they don't check it and it's like a House of Knives or a Sting, then that's a little bit of a setback for them. So they have to invest a lot to check your emote, and if they check it at the wrong time, they just spent a lot to get basically nothing. So this is sort of how the deck worked. It was very geared towards the particular runners at the time, but what I will get to is like the new versions. I think it's still a playable deck, but it can depend a lot on what you're facing. Of course, if you play like against a big Hoshiko, then this math over here doesn't work anymore, because if you're up against like a 60 card deck, then suddenly they have 32 disposable cards, or something like that, and then it's incredibly hard to tax them on cards. They can even just let your ice fire sometimes because they have a lot of cards to spare. So it depends on what you're facing. Another problem is if they are really good at breaking your ice, then they need to spend fewer cards to be able to win the game. So in my scenario, I said, let's say they have to spend 20 cards. Well, if they only need to get like 10 cards on the board to win the game, now maybe that's a bit extreme, but to illustrate my point, then they would instead have 27 disposable cards as hit points. So if they get enough cash from 10 cards, then 27 cards would be enough hit points. They might be able to do this by having a card like Jezvi and Bukalter, and maybe something that gives them money when they run a server, so some kind of criminal that exposes the fact that you're running a lot of sentries. So there are weaknesses, but there's some play in every matchup, and a lot of the early game is spent clicking for credits to basically get enough money to be able to rest the ice that you have, and then once enough agendas are stolen, you can run away in terms of credits with spy back to get to that strong point of the game. So before I get to the new versions, I will just say that a big problem with the deck is because of how this plays, you can see how it takes a long time to close out the game, or it takes a lot of turns. And that is not a problem for necessarily, but even if you learn to play the deck really quickly, which I think I did because I practiced it a lot, the runner doesn't have to play as quickly as you do, and if they don't, then the game might go to time, and especially if it's the second game, they will probably have a lead in points because you're trying to feed them points to be able to use your stock buybacks. So the runner gets a lead in points, you go to time, and you lose. And that happens, unfortunately, way more than I would like it to, and there's unfortunately no way around it with the current rule set. You just have to accept that, or you can you basically accept that, unfortunately, end up in these situations. But that doesn't mean that the deck is not like something to talk about. It's still interesting. I still think it can be a good deck on its own, but it really depends on what you're up against. And if you get to go first, then the time thing is less of an issue, especially because your opponent probably wants to get to game 2. So that's all I will say about that. And let's get to new lists. So the guest that I will bring on pretty soon, Jinsei, or Leopold, he also liked this deck. He also brought it to Worlds, and he also brought it to Baltic Nationals, where he went undefeated with it. But this is a new version. I guess I gotta give a shout out to someone in chat on the original list. I think, go on over here. He did some changes. One of them was trying out News Team and Retribution, which Leopold picked up in his own version. So if they take the News Teams, that means the stock buybacks get stronger, and also they have to steal more agendas, meaning they have to take more damage before the game is actually finished. so Leopold tried that kind of version, and I also brought it to Swedish Nats recently, um, where it didn't do as well as I wanted it to, partly because of the time issue once again. But uh, I tried a version with one news team and one end of the line, because I felt the retributions were taking up too much space. In this version, I also played a Mavarus, which is another way to poison archives, especially against all these decks playing Omakua. So end of the line makes it so it's hard to make a safe run. You have to take a lot of precautions, because if you hit a snare, you need to make sure that you have enough time to clear the tag before doing anything else. And also it means that maybe they have to consider taking the news team as a negative point. Otherwise, they risk getting end of the line whenever that happens. I didn't want to cut any of the stock buybacks. It's just too important of an economy card, and the deck already struggles with money. Again, a lot of your turns are just clicking for credits. So I would say don't cut any of those. And that felt okay. But there's a lot to be discussed there. I also kept one of the Hokusai grids to punish Stargate runs and diversion of funds sometimes. So this is there's a lot of different little choices you can make here, as you can see, and a lot of considerations, like what is the meta like? Do you think that this will do well against what you're expecting in terms of runners? So I wouldn't bring it to any like just whatever tournament you go to. Always consider what you're expecting to face. And also, you're risking the time issue, even if you are playing fast yourself. So yeah, that is basically my thoughts on the deck. I want to bring on my very special guest, Jinsei or Leopold, who has done really well recently. Actually, let me call him up and see if you guys can hear him. Hello. Chat, will you please let me know if you can hear Leopold? I think you should be able to, but
mic check.
Yeah, so
Okay.
let me do a short praising introduction of Leopold. So one of the founding fathers of Unbanned, lovely person, and has recently been crushing it, winning like 3 nationals and also a recent accelerated meta test with another very spicy and cool PE list. So what's up? Welcome to the stream.
What's up, indeed? Thank you for those kind words. I was recently like thinking my goal this year is to win another 3 nationals, and then I was like, wait, I've kind of already done that. So I don't know. I'll still try. I want to attend a lot of European nationals this year. But yes. By the way, did you get a haircut?
I did get a haircut. Yes.
Yes, it looks excellent. Like, I really like it. So yeah, hello to all the viewers. I made a couple notes. Um, Yeah, because I think like on the thing side with the you can learn to play this deck really quickly, but then the runner will always take more time. I think this is embedded in the nature of Netrunner itself, is that runner is the side that often has more options and has to take more time thinking. So this is just like a bit how it goes. In my own estimations, the deck takes on average about 40 minutes to play, where sometimes you get very fast
Yeah.
rounds where a runner randomly dies to a snare, but usually it's I'd say like I expect 40 minutes, maybe 50 in like a really long game. And so in a 65 minute round, you don't want your runner game to go longer than 20-25 minutes. Of course, it depends a lot on like what the corp brings, but like back then when we were playing this deck, like you couldn't really bring it and something like World Tree Woo, because that's also quite a slow deck, and you can't bring both of them at the same time. So your runner has to complement your corp
Yes.
choice.
Yeah. I think I agree. I think in general the runner will take more time, especially because of the hidden information and stuff. But I guess the point is like it can feel definitely too close for comfort with this deck. Like because if they take slightly more than average, you're really in the danger zone of going to time,
Yeah.
and you can sense it even like just based on the pace. You can sense it like coming from a mile away. You know, like I had so many
What's
games where
interesting
this
as well,
happened.
though, is that so you say like that the deck can't get points quickly, but I think like there's a very interesting like difference in philosophy of how we approach this deck, and I
Yeah.
think like especially because you have the hybrid releases, like you can get to a few points, and again like there's always the danger of overextension, which either opens a scoring window where you can just start scoring an oboe or like at least get some other kind of agenda out. So
Yeah.
like I think you can kind of like if you really have to, you can also go quickly and then like have a points advantage, which it's unfortunate that you have to adopt that strategy. But from a like tournament perspective, there is like ways like if you manage to find a window to cheat out an oboe regenesis play, for example, suddenly you're like 4 points up, and it's quite difficult for the runner to match that quickly.
Yeah,
So
for sure. I guess what I'm feeling is like you can get points out, but especially because only three of your agendas are hybrid releases. I guess in your version it was two. Um,
yeah.
it's one of the less common agendas. The rest need to be scored from the board, and
Oh, true.
sort of like what has even happened sometimes is like if we're low enough on time, the runner can just run through the ice, take the net, and steal the agenda, and draw back up because like they know as long as I don't score, then there's no way to win, right?
Yeah.
That's also like it can be really hard to find scoring windows for oboe early.
So,
Um,
so that's true, but a
yeah,
Sisentan can kill you there. So I think like you're still taking risks, and you still. I think maybe it comes down to like when you know you don't have the 40 minutes that you're going to need, you just approach how you play the deck differently. So I think like you
yeah.
just from the get-go pilot it in a different way.
I, yeah, I think so. I think for sure. I mean, that's what you have to do. But often, like like they can find breakers fast enough that it's really hard to just cheat things out, and that's why I
Yeah.
feel like usually like you end up having to play it from like sort of a long term perspective, more grindy, but like there are games where you can get a cheeky little score out, of course. Like
Yeah.
especially, but the deck isn't that heavy on ice either. So
Yeah.
finding the ice to protect all your centrals early, if you want to protect the score early, can also be a little bit tricky. So I would say it just depends. Like obviously you shouldn't give up. I'm just saying like just be aware that this is a pain point, I guess, for the deck that I've encountered.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's also I want to get into two very interesting like card choice discussions, but before I do
Yeah.
that, I think we should also like this is my perspective, but like we should inform the viewers that this is in some way an outdated deck. Like we're looking at a deck that was an excellent fit for a meta that we're no longer really in. Like this was a response to endurance being very strong and
Yeah.
like sentry breakers being quite like a weak point for a lot of runners.
Yes.
And that's not really not true today. So like you kind of need to modify it, but it's still a great like starting point
Well,
for watching it.
yeah, that's why I was saying like you have to think about what are the runners that you are expecting. So I'm not again like I'm not saying that this deck is great across the board. Like I would never say that. It's to me I guess we talked a little bit about this before. To me it's like a bit of a desperation deck because which
Yeah.
because I couldn't find another corp, and I was like, well, at
And
least this one gives me an angle that I like, where
yeah.
I can also play the style of game that I sort of like, where I feel like I'm in control of the game. I can sort of slow down the pace of the game, where the variance matters less.
Mhm.
Even yeah, I don't know. There was something about that, and just like not liking the other corpse, and I'm like, well, there's also some surprise factor. But the concept in itself, I think, is pretty interesting, and I feel like it's something to be considered in a meta. Now, the reason I brought it to like Swedish Nats was because there was like a lot of ESA, which means you get a lot of face downs randomly into archives, which means that if you have just a Regenesis sitting in your remote and they mill an oboe, you can score the Regenesis. So it makes them a bit paranoid,
Absolutely.
and they have to like
Absolutely.
end up checking stuff. So that's
I
one
think
thing.
both hybrids and Regenesis are amazing against ESA, like
Yeah,
in their own way, as you described.
yeah, exactly. So like, so there was a bit of an angle there, and there just seemed to be like a lot of Anarch, which do have problems breaking sentries. So it seemed like it's still decent, but you can certainly run into problems with it. Like Ba in the chat, he said, "I tested Cornered Animal out on stream recently and played against double turbine lads. It didn't go well."
Yeah.
And like, yeah,
That's
yeah,
why you need
exactly.
warrior trackers though to destroy those turbine board states, you know.
Yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out to warrior tracker.
Shout out
But
to Leopold's other list, Thousand Knives. Yeah,
which was a natural evolution from this list. So I'll say like this list was one half of what eventually became Thousand Knives, but we'll leave that for another stream. Yeah, I wanted to touch on like the fundamental difference in philosophy of how we play these decks. Because for you, as you say, it's a little bit of a desperation thing. But when you first suggested this in the Unbound Discord, I was like immediately on board because I was there in like Stockholm area, Sweden, or like Uppsala, where people like Spiros, Greek Geek, and also our friend
yeah,
Christopher Campanero, they made like the Ur form that then became shipment from Uppsala, which Ola took, to
yeah,
Continentals, and
exactly.
and I was just like I saw that live, and I was just like it just works, and for me. This is a deck that very much rewards a playstyle that I really enjoy, like the sneaky, Vocata in Archives. It's just like is a very fun space for me to be like in your opponent's headspace and try to understand like are they afraid right now, and can you use that fear to win the game, or are they overconfident, and can you use that overconfidence to kill them?
Yeah, yeah. What
Right.
I find is a lot of people just check like every single card you install.
Hmm.
um, but there was a lot of games in Worlds, for example, where I would just keep putting stuff on the board and see if they checked it. Like I put a Kusanagi, they checked it, and I was like, "Huh, they checked that. Okay, let me put a snare on the board and see if they checked that as well." You know. But it really depends, as you say, and it's one of the hard things about playing Jinsei is like you don't really know what your opponent is gonna do. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's like there are some times where you kind of spam the board with stuff, and they don't run the stuff that you want them to run.
And that's another hidden power factor. Like Ba recently did a stream where he tested like all the different PE builds, I think, which is really cool. But like that's like, especially in Swiss, like your opponent's facing this, they don't really know which PE you brought. There's like four different PEs out there, and for all the
Yeah,
viewers watching, I will say mitosis PE right now is very underexplored because Reaper Function was released, which essentially either frees up your clearinghouse influence or you get to play additional copies. And we haven't really seen that deck
yeah,
uh, at its full potential yet, I feel, in a bigger tournament. So that might be something to watch out for. But yeah, otherwise you have your Acid PE, you have your Thousand Knives, and you have this, and you don't know what you're facing.
yeah. That is for Swiss. That's a really big point. Like you can certainly exploit that a lot in Swiss. I think uh, that is a really good point. Like in Swiss, you can get away with a lot more than you would otherwise, just because of the unknown factor. If they figure out what you're on, it's not the same. But of course, you want to build your deck in a way where even if they know what you're doing, you can get away with it. But it becomes a lot harder once it's like top cut style,
for sure.
where it's like the list is known, they know exactly what threats to play around. They're like, okay, I know there's no Urtica Cipher, no Cerebral Overwriter, you know, the worst thing I can hit is like a Sting or a Snare. Um, then
Uh,
they know it's more about the long game, you know?
in my game at Czech Nationals, which in my finals game I played against Bazin, and he had one Regenesis and a Mitosis build, and you still have to play around that. So I just made like a quick note of that, like as the game started to remember it, and I was like, I was very happy when I found it because I had diffused that particular threat and situation then. But
Yeah.
like until you do, like it's still possible to build your deck in such a way that even when the list is known, there's still like that danger factor there.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
Well, that's
yeah.
maybe yeah, one of the things I wrote because I decided to play 3 hybrid release and 2 Regenesis was that the threat of Regenesis is like way better than Regenesis itself. Like just making them be scared of Regenesis is why you're playing Regenesis. Like it's very rare that you actually get to pull Regenesis off, but the fact that they have to consider
Mhm.
it is really annoying for them because it's like, oh, now there's a face down. Do I need to run the remote? Do I need to run archives just to make sure that it doesn't get these 4 points out of nowhere? Like, would he be that
I think I'm
cheeky?
going to like 70% disagree with you there. Because I think like Regenesis is very, very good, and often runner steals one or two, and then still having one is still really good. But I also see what you're saying. But also like most of the games I win by scoring via Regenesis. So for me, like it's a very good card. That, but I think like the hybrid release Regenesis question is very important. Like it is a perfect segue because this is one of the 2 card choices I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Where hybrid release is really, really good, and it does something secret even that like it helps you against the big problem card, which is Botulus, in that if they botulus, say your unrest Anansi, then you can use hybrid release to recur that, which is something that
Yeah.
wasn't possible before.
That is a really good
Uh,
point, actually.
yeah. Well,
Make
if they do it on a released ice, you can't, but then probably they at least had to break it once. So I think like that's still kind of okay.
Well, it's an extra good point because this deck, like, again, if this deck cannot make it like taxing for you to break the ice, then it can struggle because they don't have to play that many cards and they can use the rest of their deck as hit points, and Botulus really helps them with that, like making the ice easy to go through. It makes it so much cheaper that it's way more sustainable, and finding a way around that is really good if you can do it. So that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Um,
So I totally understand why you would play 3 hybrid release, and I'm even open to that being the correct way to play it. But I think for my particular playstyle, like 3 Regenesis can still be the
yeah,
right choice.
I think it also really makes it easier for you to actually score out, which is what you're aiming to do eventually, right?
Yeah.
Um, and also, yeah, they well, I guess they already had to respect that you can deal a damage with Kusanagi and keep a card in their hand. But it's also like a neural EMP kind of like you
Oh,
play it
yeah.
and you deal 1 damage to them, but you also get a point at the same time. So
Yeah.
yeah, but the added effect is like really nice too. So also the fact that it's just another 1 pointer is good. Um, but yeah,
Mhm.
I find that the case you're talking about when it comes to Regenesis is rare enough that I'd rather have the hybrid releases. Like,
Fair.
um, but
Yeah.
but
I think it's also like I'm more aggressive with my Regenesis. Like I'm trying to make it happen. Like if I think, they're not going to check, then like I'm going to put my Regenesis out there. If you're being more cautious and like if you're saving your Regenesis for those key plays, I think, and if you're only going for it when you're pretty sure that you're gonna get it off, then I think yeah, then you're not gonna lose them as quickly.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, Also, Xiat in the chat asked, "Is one news consistent enough?" Well, so for the yeah, this is sort of like me struggling to find what I want to use my influence on. I think the one news to me is um, well, it's not something you're relying on completely. It's just an extra card in the deck. So like the end of the line does something already on its own because of the snares. It might not be the best way to spend your influence. I think in a meta where there is a big console, like if you always expected Maw, then Wake Up Call would maybe still be better. But whatever they do with the new team, if they take the tags, that means you can like trash Fenris or whatever. If they take the news team, that's means stock buyback is better, and of course they have to steal one more agenda to win the game, which is essentially one less hit point as well. So it's not that you need it consistently. It's just like if you get it, then it does something. Basically, is how I think about it, and it's also a card that you can pitch to like Anemone.
For me, fundamentally, it's a matter of respecting your opponents, I think. And what I mean by this is like how many news teams you want, and your tag punishment off of that is a matter of like you assume lists are public in Swiss, and then like what do you want to have? The reason why I would like my immediate answer would have been I think it's consistent because you also have the snares, and the snares can also deliver tags. So it's like it's not just the news team that can tag the runner. And also there is one card that can become quite problematic for you, which is DJ Fenris, which gives the runner back a card and, a successful run every turn. So that also messes up your math. So tagging them can be good outside of the tag punishment as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to say is like a lot of runners don't want to be tagged ever anyway. And also, maybe playing more than one news team could also be a problem if you're up like against like a tag me deck where they actually want the tags sometimes because they can actually farm it for tags.
True. Although some tags still want infinite tags anyways, right? They want like 10, but they might not want more than that either way.
Oh yeah, that's fair enough. And but I think you struggle against those decks anyway.
I don't think you do. I think so. Back when like Tag Mizaya existed, your matchup was slightly favored, actually, and the reason for that was they only had 40 cards. Multi-access is not always great against Kentucky.
Yeah, that's so. I would put these in two categories. So Zaya is one thing where I'm not sure. When it comes to Anarch, I think because they have 3 obelisks, 45 cards, and then they can essentially just wait until they have enough like tags to just counter surveillance your deck and then win in one go because they just save up enough cards.
And that's another argument against end of the line and for retribution for me is that like when they have a 13 card hand and then you retribute the obelisk, like they're probably gonna have another, so you want to snipe those before.
Well, so my issue was like I was actually testing this against a Tag Me Anarch, and like the retributions, even if you got them, which you may not even like get them in time, the Anarch usually already had the other copy. So then I'm like, well, okay, if they're gonna have the copy anyway, end of the line at least removes 4 of the cards, is what I'm thinking. But like it's gonna be an uphill battle either way, I think, for those decks.
Yeah, I think for me, like, I'm not convinced by the end of the line, but I also think this is, again, like a very interesting difference in philosophy. Like, I'm picturing you as this, like, NBN tempo player, right? Like you've played a lot of, like, HHN, Economic Warfare, kind of, like, Tempo Glacier, and in that case, like, exploiting that kind of window where the runner is now tagged and, like, they have like 3 or 4 different things to balance at the same time, and they can only pick like 1 or 2. Like, help me budget this. My family is dying. Then, like, I think in those cases, like, end of the line is a card that fits very well in the situation. Whereas for me, like, when I use a retribution, like, on the one hand, it's the kind of pressure. Diogenes asked a question which we'll get to in just a second, because that's the second card I want to bring up. But retribution, if it destroys your Bugalta, like you're just like jamming, like you're so happy about that. And
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, from that perspective I sort of liked it.
if you remember the game where you streamed your Maw Hoshiko, I also it was very lucky, but I got to destroy your Maw, which also felt very good. I mean, maybe end of the line would won the game at that point, but
Yeah, I remember I was playing really risky that time, I think. But
yeah.
yeah, if you get like Maw or like Breaker like Bukalter, yeah, there are really good targets for Retribution.
Mhm.
So I definitely see a case for it. I think it's less impactful when like you're up against I guess a part of the problem is like it takes up a lot of slots to have two of them. I mean, you could play one, but
Exactly. I'm
uh,
thinking like maybe you only want one. Like maybe one is actually enough, you know. And
well,
I
yeah,
wouldn't have
maybe.
spent the last one, so.
But what I wanted to say was that then I feel like the impactfulness varies a lot depending on what you're facing. Like if you're up against Anarch, since they have the bin breakers,
Finn,
it's
you need to understand, like, we're playing Jinteki Personal Evolution. Like, variance is our friend. Like, we are here to exploit variance, to, like, use the turbulence to catapult ourselves to victory. Like, exploit that kind of chaos that we have created. I want to get to the second question, which is why are you playing two diviners?
well, yeah, actually, yeah. So Daijin asked why not use DNA tracker, and also in your list you were playing one diviner, one DNA tracker. For me, the answer is really simple, which is the deck is poor, so I have a hard time resing ice that is that expensive. Like if I had consistently had the cash to do that, I would want to play a DNA tracker because that ice is really good, especially now, in my opinion. But um, yeah, the diviner like lets you protect things early. Like you put it in front of
Yeah.
a Rashida or HQ, whatever. I like it's not great always, but it's very cheap and it has an impactful effect. It can actually end the run, so I like it. I
I
just
think back then when all the ice was broken by endurance and like whatever subroutine you had, it didn't matter. It was going to be two power counters. I think like Diviner was a very good choice because you're also exploiting the Black Orchestra, for which is like 3 credits. That's expensive. But maybe it's also because like, I switched to news teams and like having more fake points meant stock buyback makes me more money. But the DNA tracker was an experimental choice that I hadn't really explored before going into Baltic Nats. Like I played maybe 1 or 2 games with that, if at most. And I was very, very happy with that change. Like on the day, like it performed really well for me because it's another big piece of ice that runners kind of need to respect rather than like all your cheap and flimsy eyes, which like Krim with like Shezve, which there were a bunch of at Baltic Nuts. They just run through your tithe like it's nothing, or even credit positive.
yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, there's room for experimentation. I just usually find myself too poor in some stages of the game where I'm like even struggling to rest the current ice suite. So then I'm like, well, if I make it even more expensive, that problem is only gonna get worse. But yeah, there's room for
Yeah.
experimentation here. There's room for different choices, I think.
I think like now we've explored the theory, let's get to practice. I would love to
Yes,
get some
yeah.
games
I
in.
was just gonna say that. So what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do, me and Leopold, we're gonna jump on, and we're gonna start by him backseating me, telling me when I fuck up, and and then we're probably gonna switch to doing the reverse. But first, I'm gonna take like just a really short break, so I'll be back in just a second.
Cool. Yeah, if the audience has any questions in the meantime, maybe I can try answering some.
Oh yeah, I guess usually I go for the pause screen, but I can let you steal the show for now. So I'll be right back.
Maybe I'll also go to the bathroom
Okay,
actually.
okay. Then I'm going to the pause screen right now, so I'll see you very soon. All right, I am back, and Leopold will jump back in whenever.
I am
And
here with my glass of coconut water.
okay, very good. I'm gonna share my screen with you. Where's that button? There we go. No, that's the wrong screen. There we go. I think this is the. If I do this, can you see? Can you see my Jinsei?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Then everything.
There's a very funny name Asmari list right here, actually.
Let's everyone ignore that, okay? Nothing to see here. uh, yeah, so let's jump into a game. Another thing I thought, just a random thought I had about the deck is, oh wait, I need to specify that I'm streaming. Streaming. Exclamation mark. Yeah, another thing about the deck is you sort of have to like if you sort of have to see what angle of taxing is gonna work for the game that you're in. Like, is it gonna be effective enough to tax them on credits? If not, maybe you pivot more to trying to tax them on cards, which means maybe you rest less ice and stuff like that. So yeah, try to.
This hand is legit.
Yeah, do we? I guess yeah, we keep this because there's like no.
I would definitely keep this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad Blood, who's been actually playing me a couple of times on stream. Okay, so I kind of love this hand. We have no liabilities in HQ, so we can hedge Ice HQ and like install Kusanagi and hope they run it or something.
What do we do if they boomerang HQ and then they divert us? Is that a problem?
I think we just have to accept that that's a possibility.
Okay. I mean, if it were an Anansi, you know, that would be amazing for us, but...
Yeah, but drawing for an ice
Question
is like...
I respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would have installed the news team here and not the Kusanagi. The reason for that is that, like, the news team, even if they take the tags, they're gonna have to deal with it again. The Kusanagi only works once.
Yeah, that's a good point. It probably should have been the news team.
It won't matter too much.
Probably.
Like, they will probably take negative points.
I feel like also the chance of them taking it as the negative point is higher early. Okay, so they just didn't run. I guess I would draw here. And just, yeah, draw, sting.
Ooh. So acknowledge as well, they did not run or unrest card. You know, like that's important too. Like,
yeah.
First turn makes sense because they're setting up, but also like.
Yeah, does that mean we?
That means that, yeah, you might get away with a sting score here, possibly.
Yeah, it would be. It's always nice to score one sting at least, so that the others are.
I'll say, like, don't listen to me here, but I would actually consider just putting the Regenesis on the board now, just to have it there, you know, just being like, eventually there's gonna be a woman in archives.
Okay, I will not listen to you, and I will, but maybe I'll install. You know what? I'll install the news team and the sting, and see how frisky they are feeling.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's nice. The only problem is, like, if they never run it, then, like... Ooh, okay. Well, it's a good thing we have the hybrid
disrespecting us here. Ooh, maybe we should have put that Regenesis on the board if they're gonna maw or stuff, you know?
Well, we have the hybrid release, so we can get it back. Like, that's not really a problem.
Yeah.
But maybe
Steve with security testing could be really difficult, actually. You know?
Yeah, maybe. My question here is, like, do you dump HQ here? Like, do you want to just install like empty HQ out so that Maw doesn't do anything?
I'm actually, yeah, I think maybe hedge and install the 2 cards that we have would be decent.
No. Do you overinstall anything, or do we just leave everything?
Um, I think we overinstall server 1 and server 2 to like make it less tempting to go for the Regenesis.
I would leave the Kusanagi maybe and just dump the news team.
Okay, so hedge.
But it's up to you.
Wait, why would you leave the Kusanagi?
Because like Kusanagi is still like a card you can eventually also score if you want it, you know. Whereas like News Team doesn't do anything for you while it's on the board.
It's true, but it's.
But
You know what?
it's not a perfectly
I'll
usable.
go with your line.
Because I'm thinking like we're up against Steve. There's a chance they draw into a breaker, and if they're like credit compressed, we might get to trash that with like you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. And also like it's always like what are they afraid of, right? Like what if server one we pretend server one's like it makes no sense actually for it to be an avocata, but like if it were one, I don't know. Maybe I've like I'll outsmart it myself here. Maybe that
I
that
think
line's not reasonable.
I think we like accidentally hit one of the worst matchups possible because like this guy can recur cards and we can't stop it, and there's
True.
like recurring credits with security testing. Okay, but he's running the snare though, so that's good.
Yeah. But my thinking is if you ice HQ up hard enough, like maybe they have archives into no, what's the backdoor, like sneak door.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like maybe it's possible to like make HQ runs so expensive. Although I like this combination because it's kind of like the more means that we're disincentivized from protecting HQ as well.
Yeah.
Yep, I
I'm
think
gonna
here
score this and get a Regenesis out.
perfect. I like it. Yeah, because eventually they're going to. Eventually they're going to get. We're gonna get an oboe in hand, and if they don't steal it, but they trash it with the mod, then
Oh, that would be so beautiful. That needs to
yeah.
happen now. It just needs to happen. They're being so mean too, like not accessing anything with. Okay, so doof, but we.
Wait, are they dead?
Wait, they're just dying, right? Why would
Let's
they?
see.
Oh my god, I think they might die.
This can happen too. This is one of the two ways a game can end very quickly.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, GG. That was risky. Don't do that, folks.
This is where you can play this and not be that worried about time at tournaments, because like at least in this rounds, sometimes your opponent's just gonna die in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it happens. It's just like it's not something you can count on, unfortunately. But it does happen. Like if the games go down to the wire, it's way different. But like that's just a play that you shouldn't make.
Yep.
Especially because they have such good long-term prospects. If you get a book altar on the board, you have the recursion. Maw is disrupting like stuff out, like snares out of HQ. Okay, Esa. This looks like a good hand too. We could
I
get
think so, yeah.
like an Anansi in front of the Rashida. And we already, like, having the hedge fund in the starting hand is extra important when you need, like, stock buybacks to get money later.
We're up against a 50 card ESA though.
Oh shit. Oh man, I hate these people. Why do they do this to us? Okay, so we hedge
Be
fund.
nice. It's definitely hedge fund. Then I think it's quite debatable what the next move is, because like
Yeah, maybe
we'll-
just put Rashida naked and Anansi on HQ to stop Shastushka and stuff.
yeah, I'm wondering if you want the spin doctor installed immediately or not. Like that's why I'm considering, like, how we actually operate the Rashida, and like, are we afraid of pinhole or not? We're doing the
No,
signature Bridgeman thinking move here. Let's spend, a couple
no,
minutes.
I'm gonna do this. Because I don't think they usually just like immediately run archives after milling.
Okay.
And I'm
we're
greedy.
gonna get it.
I want to pop this Rashida.
Yeah.
And it's turn 1. They want to set up. They don't have the balls to go for this Rashida. But this is going to be really interesting because you have a deck that core damages itself. Ooh, we have the oboe in archives already. That core damages itself against like this damage deck. So you have like, wait, what? Okay, so does it make sense to res Anansi here?
I would resonance you.
So they,
especially look at the top 5.
oh, if they continue and hit Sting, they die unless they have Steel Skin, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
resing.
They could have Steel Skin, but I think you still res just because like the look at the top 5 is very valuable. I think like Beckett's underestimated how good of a sub that is.
Yeah, that's true. But also like
We're gonna
if there's
shuffle
not Steel
R&D
Skin,
probably quite soon as well. So it lets us be like, I want these 3 cards or 4 cards, and I don't want this other.
ooh, and we can even put another
let's
Sting in
put
hand
another
here.
Sting in here.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Delicious.
So what do we put on the bottom? Maybe hybrid release.
Yeah, I think hybrid is reasonable. Like they're
So
all
hybrid-
really good. We probably want to draw all of them, but yeah.
I think, and then hedge, then
Uh,
tithe,
uh,
then new steam, then sting.
I put the tithe over the new steam just because we want to draw that faster, just to put somewhere, I feel.
True. Okay. So we can.
So it's hybrid release, hedge fund.
New steam.
Although we're gonna get the Rashida probably. Oh, it doesn't matter.
Well,
Tithe.
we do it like this in case we don't get the Rashida.
True. All right.
Okay. There's no steel skin.
Oh.
The jack out.
Oh. Okay. Very.
Yeah, that is a wise choice because we poised.
So we trash labor rights, finality, running hot.
Okay, so
that
that was good. That was good, and we get the Rashida pop, and we will also get the opportunity to get the Spin Doctor on the board.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. So now,
where do we-
I think we install credit hedge fund and ditch the oboe.
Oh, I like that. Okay. So, question: are we ditching the oboe? Oh, okay. I guess we just do. I think it's reasonable. Like we're gonna get those oboes back into archives sooner or later.
Yeah.
There's also a line where you just put a bunch of stings into archives. When they do actually run it, they just die.
Well, what I kind of want to do now is ice R&D and like double sting on the board.
Okay. So the Botulus in HQ means that the turn after this one we might get Chastushkat as well.
Yes, yeah. Which maybe means we should have put the ice on HQ? I'm not sure.
No, I think that's fine. Oh.
Really?
What?
This is... Are they gonna... No, they're letting us... That's kind of
Oh, they're
crazy.
letting us-
It's
Well,
gotta be a mistake, I feel. So, okay,
Maybe.
so now we can rearrange again.
Yep.
End of the line doesn't do anything, so maybe that's on the bottom then.
yeah, you can. Like, sure.
And then we're not in a rush to get the Spin Doctor.
True.
The ice is nice to reinforce HQ.
Oh yeah,
I guess Tithe is the best one.
true. I like putting an enemy on HQ myself to sculpt my hand when they're actually running their decks or something. But
Sure, we can
yeah,
do that.
like all
So
of them are
we can
good.
take
No, I think the
Diviner,
Tithe is
Tithe, Anemone, and then draw.
yes.
So they're not I guess maybe because they're 50 card deck, they just want to get through the deck.
Yeah, but they're losing. Like, it's important to note they have labor rights as well. So like, even if their deck is gone, they still have like a little bit of stuff after that. We
Yeah.
we know what the top cards are
Um,
now, and I think we
Do you
kind of
just trash the news team and the Kusanagi?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, and Finn,
Yeah.
think what if the hybrid release was a Regenesis right now, and you would be looking at the prospect of scoring out, and yeah, I
It's
think
true.
that
It's true. But also, Essa is a very particular case, I feel like.
fair,
Oh,
yes.
I think.
Well,
Did they
Essen's
just
quite
die
popular.
now? Oh, they're still skin. Okay.
Yeah,
That's important. So
true.
I think maybe we shouldn't have pitched one of those cards because Anemone wants to pitch something as well, right?
But again, like Anemone is there for that when they run HQ, you can pitch a House of Knives or even an Oboe and have it not be an HQ by the time they access.
Yeah. So here maybe draw Anemone on HQ and Tithe on Archives or something. Or Tithe the other R&D.
One of those. Yeah. Like eventually we'll need R&D, remote ice as well. I don't know if you want to ice archives or not. And I don't know if Tithe is significant. So I feel like, yep.
I think I'll go with this. Just take
Yep.
money. But yeah, Regenesis in this matchup is clearly very, very nice.
No, hybrid release is great as well.
Yeah.
Like imagine if we milled the Regenesis and we'd be like, well, get it
Oh,
back.
now they're
Or-
going for it. Okay, so we'll continue the run. So before.
So wait.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like they have 4 cards in hand.
Yeah, but they
If
could have
we-
Steel Skin.
Yeah, but look at their heap. I think there's already 2 steel skins in the heap.
There's 2, but I don't want to risk it. Well, undo? No.
Oh no, Vin. Yeah, it's
If there was
unfortunate.
no
Like,
information revealed,
no, runs are very difficult to repair, I feel, because like even
Yeah.
the non-action is essentially information revealed. I
Oh.
think we should run with laundry. Yeah, like I think that's definitely fine. And again, in that case, like you don't even pop the spin doctor, right? Like, but I think even if
Oh yeah, in this case I don't need to pop the Spin Doctor. Yeah,
yes,
because there's no way to steal unless like the Kusanagi hits the Steel Skin. No, even then it doesn't work because they die.
no, but we have the sting installed, so like they die if they do that.
Yeah,
Basically, I
they
think.
die either way because they would get to 4 and then they would die after stealing the Oboe.
Yeah. So
Although now we revealed the Spin Doctor for no reason, but it's okay.
yeah, but I think yeah.
It's not the most
Like,
serious game.
like there's 2 revealed oboes in the bin. We'd be absolutely mad if we didn't have a spin doctor on the board.
Yeah. Well,
All right. Oh,
I mean-
they took the tags, and now I'm wondering, like, maybe we wanted that end of the line, actually. You know?
see, but we can still get it. How many cards away is that?
We
If I
shuffled it
rest
back
the
into
spin,
the-
we draw 2. We
Oh,
we should
wait,
see it.
yeah.
We'll just
Yeah,
tell-
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
My God,
Yeah,
these
but-
games are over way too quickly.
And that's another reason why you don't pop the spin here. Like,
Well, yeah. All right. Okay. I guess since my games are going so quickly, I'll do another one before putting the ball in your court.
oh yeah, yeah. I felt like that after the first game as well. Like, that was so like it's very funny. You know, we thought like every round was gonna take like 40 minutes for me or an hour if you're playing, and now like all of it over in like 6
Well,
minutes.
Yeah, no, the thing is that you on Jinteki that is not at all the same issue. Even I think even um, if they were more careful, because I
Uh,
feel it's faster to play a
look
Jinteki.
at the next size.
Do we keep this because we have the hedge fund?
Um,
I think so.
to me, it's keepable, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I think you're gonna lose this if I have to make a prediction.
Because it's a 71 card lat.
Yeah,
You underestimate the power of the dark side.
fair enough. Fair enough.
No,
Sure.
but yeah. So I need to protect this oboe, so I'm gonna ice HQ, I guess. Or it looks like World Tree lat or
Ooh,
something.
I see.
Hedge. Like ice. Yeah, I'm not even sure what server is the most important to protect. I'm gonna go with HQ.
In a vacuum, like Anansi is very good on R&D, just because like when it fires, you get to look at the top 5, so like they don't, get to random access basically.
Yeah.
But like I understand why you want to protect the HQ here, but I feel like I don't know. I would have put the Anansi on R&D, I think.
Yeah, I'm not totally against that. Might be better. So our one saving grace is, of course, we.
Or one saving grace is them running into Saisentan.
Yeah, like if you play a big deck like this, your consistency is way down. So we have that going for us, and we could like get into a situation where we can like pull off an early Regenesis play possibly. So
I'm very curious about this build though. Like if it is World Tree, I'm kind of excited like how they get it out of their deck and everything.
Yeah. See another card? I think so.
Okay.
House of Knives is cool. And we just create a remote, I think.
Yep. I might have considered putting the Anansi on the Spin Doctor, and that's probably a mistake, because we do want to keep that for longer.
I think so. Like, if they want to trash this, we let them, I think. Yeah, they want to, but it's okay. Because they are not high on cash. Again, so of course you have this huge advantage with the big deck. That... Okay, wait.
Ooh.
Okay, so just House of Knives server 2, click for 2 credits, I think.
Yeah, like the problem is like House of Knives will not help us in like decking our opponent, but I think like that's still useful for like creating crunch situations.
Exactly, like so I don't know if I ever properly articulated that, but like the apart from just being able to grind our opponent down, we can actually create situations where the amount of cards they currently have in hand is a problem. So it's not only about...
Finn, what do you think of a parody of like, the Mulan song, like, did they send me agendas when I asked for ice?
That would be pretty decent, I think. We could make it work. Okay, so they're gonna get this House of Knives, and they have 1 billion cards. But maybe, I mean, I guess we want to get the stock buybacks online at some point anyway. I mean, he's saying oops, but this is actually okay for him. If it was Saisentan, that would be a different story. But we get to stack R&D.
Yep. Again, like the look at the top 5 is very good
okay,
here.
I'll just fire it because there's no way to... Okay. Regenesis.
Ooh, Regenesis. Though.
Which we were sort of looking for. But I feel like, right... I guess, well, we can get another ice to protect archives. So we can get the Diviner for that.
Yep.
And we can get Rashida for the overdraw.
Yeah, the only problem is that like if they decide to run HQ, we can't res the Anansi there. So, but I think
Yeah,
I guess you still take that risk and just add Rashida to your hand
yeah,
anyways because it's like 1 and 6.
I think so. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
uh, the
Although maybe we put Rashida on R&D, like topmost on R&D, and not just because we have the tithe, but also because like they're psychologically not going to run the thing you put on there. I feel.
yeah. Okay. So we get a card. That's fine.
Oh, we got the Mad Dash. So one thing I'll note to the audience here is that sometimes, like against this deck, blind Mad Dashing archives can be very good, just because like you find the Kusanagi and you still get the 1 point.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's has
Uh-huh.
happened before.
They had the Hush.
Oh
That would have been good. Like against Saisentan, that's also a good play. And it's even if you miss, like you still get to put it somewhere else.
yeah. Now we have a pretty straightforward turn, so we can just do this.
Yeah, we could have drawn one more time because like we iced archives without there being anything there. But if if we gained a credit and then we put a oh sorry if we drew a card instead of gaining a credit, um, then they're afraid of us rushing them. But although I guess we can just overdraw with Rashida and make it look a lot less ominous.
That is my my idea.
Yeah, I like that too. So we're going for Regenesis.
Regenesis in the remote.
Yeah, maybe
Credit.
Anatomy on the remote so that like we have another ice for them.
Maybe yeah. Let me think. So if we install another ice, we're at 6 credits. So we could rest
Yeah.
both that and the diviner. Yeah, we want to make it trickier for them to go for.
Yeah.
Although, so
The
what are
one
we pitching?
like
So we'll be at 7 cards, and so we can
yeah.
pitch like Obo and Kusanagi or something.
Yeah. So the thing as well is like what if they run your spin doctor?
Yeah,
And I feel like I would want to shuffle back the card that isn't the oboe. You know,
that's
like that would
that's why I'm thinking maybe we anemone on archives, because we can like pitch a sting in there, and like make it hard to steal the oboe.
that's kind of spicy though. Okay. But I think in that case, like, can't they just run the remote and steal the Regenesis and be fine?
They could, but we only lose 1 point, and they have to.
Yeah.
I don't know if they want to let that fire.
Okay.
I'm not actually. I'm not sure.
Yeah. That's up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Once again, Genesis proving better than hybrid release. Let's go.
Let's see if they just faceplant the Anansi. That would be that would actually be the play though. That's the crazy part.
Exactly. That's why I
Yeah.
was, ooh, all right.
See, we're in business now.
Oh, yes, we are.
So we score this and we dump Maverus maybe?
So they installed a fermenter, so I kind of don't hate keeping the Marius. And like one card we ditch, we can bring
Oh,
back with hybrid release. So we could ditch the
yeah.
Sting.
Yeah, we could yeah, that's a
Although
good point.
the same logic applies to Maverus being bring backable with hybrid. So I think it's either one, Sting or Maverus.
I'll go with Sting. I sort of like that idea. Yeah, cuz
Yeah.
uh so we did the one thing that actually gives us a decent chance here. So they're running the spin. Maybe we want to get Hedge Fund and Rashida back actually, because cash is sort of nice.
I like that. I would do that. Exactly. Regenesis MVP, baby.
Yeah.
Such a good card.
But yeah, I feel like I it's sort of like how things have been going so far, even though like the games haven't gone as grindy as they're supposed to. But I guess it's showing some of the, I guess, Like,
because like
there's a lot
I
of
think
variety in the deck. I think like games can go a
you know
lot
how
of
like
different
in
ways.
Unbound we don't use the G word, you know, like we don't say
The
that
G,
word.
the G word grinder. Oh, sorry. I mean,
Exactly.
uh, the G word. Yes.
Exactly.
Um,
Because like we're winning, you know, faster. And it's like I feel like it's very much in theme for Jinteki to win the long game, which is like the incidental win condition, which
so they
ooh,
might clot
oh oh
if
that's
they.
sweet. But you wait, oh no, this is a hybrid release, right?
Yeah.
You do another one. Okay. Very good.
So we're at 5. We're actually like close to scoring out, and we have a hybrid release in hand.
True, true.
So yeah, if we like click for 3 next turn, we get to 5. We can score the sting, and then we can score the hybrid release. So
Yeah.
but they might actually be on clot. So we may still run into issues here. Okay, Hush on the Anansi is annoying.
Ooh, good play, good play. But we still get to look at the top five, which again is a very nice thing
That
to
is very
happen.
nice. We might get some stock buybacks now. We do.
Yeah,
So we want to like get money, reinforce the remote, I think, with another Anansi.
true.
That's
But I don't know if you play the stock immediately or if they steal like one more point.
yeah, I'm not sure either actually. Um,
I'm wondering if there is a world in which like this is my prana brain talking, but I'm like, oh yeah, Hush isn't implemented. True. But I'm wondering if there is a world in which we install the stick naked somewhere while we put like another agenda somewhere else.
I think at this point we can just play it straight up. I don't think we have a need to like um, gamble at this point. So I think this is like we just need
Okay.
to like protect, score another one, and get a hybrid release out.
I think there's like a disable command.
Oh, is there? Okay, so we can get Anemone, Sting, Kusanagi. Now I'm gonna. I'm not sure this order was correct, but I don't want to take more time, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah, that's like something. That's one of the few instances in which Corp will take quite a bit of time. Although, ironically, on the runner's turn, when they have to think about the Anansi and like on JNet, sometimes you just do it over like 3 times. Um, there we go.
Oh,
Ah,
well,
excellent.
right now it's mostly that like I'm doing a billion things at once. The typical stream problem.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay. Nope,
Oh,
didn't work.
yeah. I think they just take the cards back.
Yeah,
We,
that's
we get
the.
knowing that they have a deep dive and a world tree. Well, it's actually they're gonna lose 2 of them now, anyways. I think so.
Yeah,
It's not that bad.
nothing to see there. Yeah, I'll try to pretend as if we didn't see those cards. Ba says it's very much on theme for Jinjeki players to insist they're not a grinder deck. You know what?
It's a thousand cards. That's what it is. You know.
I embrace the grinder title. I'm okay with it,
Yeah.
um, but just keep in mind I'm also kind of trying to tax you with my ice. Okay, so
Do we put the Kusanagi server 2 at this point? Do you think like is that a play we want to do?
yeah, it's either like I'm considering just scoring the hybrid release to be done with that.
Oh, and we can still get the Kusanagi from archives back that way into the remote, which is also neat.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. I think
Okay.
I'll do that. Yeah.
Ping.
And we can discard the Kusanagi or something.
Yes.
So there's a Sting on top, which is probably not the best play by me, but that was again something I just did kind of hastily, but I guess it's not the worst if they steal it because the stock buyback becomes better.
Exactly. Like.
Oh, they are going for the Kusanagi.
Yeah, I thought they might. And now you have full control over whether this thing is on top or not. Ooh, I love those Rashidas coming up. That's good.
Yeah, so we're gonna get 8 from the buyback. Do we want Rashida to fire before going for like our final score?
So here's my thinking. If you put a Rashida on R&D and like if you put the Rashidas both on top, you're guaranteed to have one for next turn to put into the remote.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have to click up for a credit if we want to play the stock buyback. Like seeing the Rashidas makes me wonder, like, are we even like? I'm kind of like, do we greed the stock and wait for like one more agenda that they steal, or do we want to play it now?
No, I'm okay with playing the stock now. So I think we put like House of Knives at the bottom, Sting, and then Rashida.
Because my thinking is like we put the another Anansi like on the remote as well, right? And then like we just have this like super expensive remote that like you know.
I think this is good.
Okay, so you're saying it's like credit Rashida stock?
Yes.
Okay.
And we can like put the
maybe can you try? Oh no. Okay. I was gonna say, can you try using the command, because sometimes JNet only lets you do certain things to your own cards, I think. Or something.
I will try next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So it is definitely, it is World Tree. Running HQ.
Finding our Spin Doctor. Okay. I don't know. So my question here is, do we put the Rashida in the remote or do we put the Mavirus in the remote? Because I feel like after we play the stock, like we're gonna have score out money, so they're going to be forced to run the remote and respect that, basically.
But we have another Rashida, so we can just let them
go for
it, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that also makes sense, actually.
And now Anemone is on top, so R&D is safe for now. I guess
for now.
I guess Tithe is also okay.
Yeah.
He's like rude. Yeah, stock buyback, once they get rolling, is like you're pushing your way back into the game, basically. Okay, running HQ. Did we want an Anansi to power? I feel like we almost don't care.
Yeah, like here's another instance where I would really like HQ to be Tithe and Anansi to be on R&D, I think. But I think this is okay.
Yeah. We just let this happen.
There's nothing super critical to protect in HQ, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to be able to res another Anansi on the remote, so that's fine. Oh, there is World Tree. But a bit late.
But they've already made a successful run this turn, so they're not going to get a World Tree trigger.
Yeah, that's just to get it out of hand.
Fair. Right.
Fire Unbroken Cells. I sure will. Another stock buyback. Hey.
And the Saisentan. And an Anemone. There's a lot of very, very good cards here.
Yeah. We want the stock buyback on top, I think. So on the bottom, I think still House of Knives and Sting.
So my question here is, do we just go for the win next turn with a Sting here? Because every turn they get from one is going to accelerate them with the World Tree. So I'm like, even to just Sting.
We could do like Anemone bottom. And then like, so we go like, then Saisentan, then
so I I would put House of Knives on the bar. Maybe not actually. I don't know. I'm wondering like put the Sting in HQ and
That's what I'm doing. Sting, and then we draw stock buyback.
yeah, it's hard because like Saisentan is a really good piece of ice here as well, right?
Yes. But I figure we'll draw into it later with Rashida if this doesn't work.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Okay. So they take the damage. Yeah, we're definitely feel like we're probably not grinding this deck down.
All right. Disable.
Oh yes. Disable. What's the command?
Disable cards with a like in German we say Bindestrich in between.
Bindestrich, yeah.
Swedish vocabulary, yes.
Exactly. People should start speaking Swedish instead of English. Would be so
klart, jag pratar lite svenska.
Okay, let's see if it works now. Yes, it works.
Excellent.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so this was why I was like, maybe I want to put the Mavirus in there instead of the Rashida, because they're probably going to run it. But I guess, in case they don't, it's still decent, because like that remote is pretty cool. We're having like something in there.
The fire still gives us something, so like even if they go for the Rashida, it's not bad for us, I think.
Yeah. No, but that's why I was like, what if you put the Mavirus in there? So like,
Yeah.
Because again, we're on game point. Like Runner is very, very afraid right now.
Yes, as they should be. Okay, he's thinking, I guess. We're typing.
Maybe he's wondering, right, because of the HQ run that they've already made, the Wild Tree didn't trigger.
There was another run, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Greenland already triggered on Modern HQ.
All right. Yeah, so I guess we go for it, right? Sting in remote, Anansi, stock buyback.
Yep.
This is... Now we can afford to rest 2 Anansis.
True.
So
what's better than 1 Anansi? 2 Anansi. We even have another one already rested on the remote. But like, what if one of those other ice was a DNA tracker,
That would also be good. But now they can't afford to like check HQ. It would be too much damage. They have to get a... But the thing is, they're still squeezed on credit, so even if they get a breaker out, they run out of credits pretty quickly.
Maybe, yeah.
Like if it's like nanotech or... Okay, so running here...
Oh no. This comment...
What is the comment?
No. It's so annoying having... True.
So we fire this. Another stock buyback, very good. Well, okay, so...
The oboe seems... Hey, do we just get the oboe and like just jam that there? Like, I don't know if they can contest that through the Anansi.
Well, I feel like it's even safer to just put a House of Knives there. And like, we could reinforce it.
Let's just count. And yeah, wow, another House of Knives is wild. Okay, like, You could even put the Seisentan on top of the Anansi as well, just to like really.
I guess then we don't have enough cash for it.
Well, with the stock buyback we do, no?
Oh, actually, if the other Anansi fires, we get 2 more cards, so we have enough cards.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I wasn't thinking, but definitely.
Okay, so Obo on the bottom, I guess. Anemone. Then
I put the House of Knives down now, just because like we're gonna get to. But I guess it's not that important, just in case they jacked out you or something.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But wait, if they do that, then we'll just score the sting and win the game.
True, right.
So that's pretty relevant.
Wait, Finn, I needed to practice your evil laugh, like for the PE stream, you know, like.
Should I do the evil laugh?
Yes, please. It's beautiful.
I hope that doesn't discourage the viewers too much. Okay, so we got another Seisentan. We just keep this, I think. So Seisentan, Obo, Anemone, stock buyback, Seisentan.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah, Finn, you've proven me wrong in the most beautiful way possible. You're actually winning this game.
See?
It's all part of your personal evolution as a Netrunner player.
Well, it's like you can't. You don't just default win against this deck. I feel like you need to be precise and like, yeah, and also this. Yeah, this kind of flat, it has like, yeah, it's just so clunky that even though you have the big deck, it doesn't actually work out that well. Okay, so now we go for play. Stock buyback again. That was the third one. They are really pulling some.
Well, they let us fire Anansi a lot, so we got to go through a lot of our deck quite well.
Yeah.
As well. But it's still quite lucky, yeah. Definitely helping us out a lot here.
So, Ba says, just realized you're playing against Fix from my local meta. Okay, that's cool.
It's nice.
Although Earthrise is kind of annoying, because now he has so much more HP to work with.
Yeah, but it's still, like, unless they find a Sentry Breaker, like the Seisentan is still going to be quite backbreaking, I feel.
Yeah, because it's 5 cards plus... Yeah, I guess you could, like, draw up to 9 and maybe survive.
I don't know what the name here either with Seisentan. Ooh.
Oh, you just rest.
Yep.
Yeah, resting is game. Oh, wow.
It's like old Mitty days, you know, no matter where you are. It's an Anansi over there.
That has been the theme of this game is rearranging R&D. Yeah, now it doesn't matter. So we just put Obo on the bottom. We put a snare on top for fun because obviously it's gonna run R&D. Oh, this is wrong. Wait, I have to do it over again. So Anemone, Obo bottom.
Yeah.
Anemone.
Yeah.
Seisentan, Tithe, snare, and then we draw the Tithe.
Actually, wait. Oh, okay. I think maybe you put the snare on R&D, actually. But it's fine either way.
Oh, that was actually my plan. I don't know how this ended up being the case. That was... but whatever.
Because they're gonna deep dive us, maybe. But I guess it doesn't matter.
Well, not after the snare, right? Or... Because they hit the snare. It doesn't matter if they deep dive, they can't steal anything. Like, they can't steal Obo. Yeah. Alright.
That's the game.
Very good, sir. Apparently it's not a grinder deck, it's tempo control.
Yep.
GG.
I'm glad we're all learning that today.
Yeah, very good, very good. Um, all right, that was cool. So my plan now, um, is we're gonna switch, but I'm gonna just gonna do another one of those quick breaks beforehand.
Yep, sounds
Uh,
good.
so yeah, I'll be right back, everybody. See you soon. All right, welcome back, everybody. So we're gonna switch it up. Leopold is gonna be in the driver's seat, and he's gonna be playing his list from Baltic nationals. Which let's pull it up real quick. So again, one DNA tracker instead of one diviner. It's playing Retribution. There's no Hokusai Grid or Maverus, and there's 2 news teams. Also, there's 2 hybrid release and 3 regenesis. So we're gonna get this going, and basically what this means, I'll still be clicking and doing the stuff, but he's gonna have the final say on all of the plays now. So I'll be following orders.
It's very exciting, and I feel like after those 3 games, congratulations on winning all of them, by the way. I was like, Epic's Predator as a list is not that different. Like, it has a few slot changes, but I'm like, do we really want more of what is basically the same? But I think, like, maybe how I play the deck is actually quite different from how you approached it. Like, it was very beautiful to see, like, how you play it.
Thanks, man.
So maybe we're gonna see a few wilder plays. We're up against the 48 card Freedom.
Oh my god, everyone is above 45.
Yeah.
What is happening to the game? Okay, do you want to mold this or?
Let me think about it. Just
Hmm?
put the stream link in. because this is, I think,
Oh,
a debatable. Like the ice is nice. The oboe and the retribution are both a bit useless at present, though.
yeah.
I think I'm going to mulligan this actually, even though it's not a terrible hand. I'm looking for something a little different.
It's slightly better, I think.
Yes, yes. All right. So
We
we
get a
draw
size
in.
of 10. That's also good.
Mwah. Okay, so what we do is very easy. Rashida remote, Saisentar remote, Tithe HQ.
Very good. I agree. I definitely agree. How would you describe the difference in approach that we have?
Mine is, Brandon would say sneakier. You know, I love to dump my oboes into archives and
Yeah.
live more in like my opponent's like psychological head game. It's harder to do online than in person, but like you know, it's like that old Wu-Tang line. Like you can see the weakness of a man
Oh
right
my
through his
God.
eyes. So
Do
let's
you
rest that
rest?
size. Yeah, of course.
What do you want to call?
First, let them install a hush. Oh no, yeah,
Maybe,
let
yeah,
them
maybe.
install a hush if they want it. Although I don't know if they can prevent the encounter, but they can still blank the effect. I think so.
I'll ask if action before encounter.
Yeah, I think they don't get an action before the or yeah.
No, they do.
Actually,
They do. I mean, it's the same action window as the rest, so technically you could. Although they're not saying anything, not replying. I guess I'll just call what you want to call.
Event. Yeah.
Also to Axel, who says you can blame King and Soccer for playing hella large ag Hoshiko. Yeah.
I love this comment. Oh my god.
Yes, for sure. Like, on behalf of our team, I apologize for their behavior. No, like it's okay. So we win the game. I don't know why people do this.
The reason why this isn't that good as a like why I say like this is a deck for past matter. Like I don't know why we didn't do it back then because we could have played 60 card of Shiko, but I think like we're too constrained for like other matchups. But now like 60 card Hoshiko is a very good deck that still struggles against other things. Like this is important to keep in mind. Actually, wait, can you close the game for just 1 second?
Mm-hmm.
Go into your cards.
Wait, what
I
cards?
think you're at one. Over there. Select personal evolution for me, and please take the black tree.
All right.
Think like that. Excellent, thank you.
That's gonna up your play by like 15%.
No, it's just aesthetics, but Jinsei is all about aesthetics. Like...
Yeah, I love playing this with the alt art tree.
Oh yeah, I love that one as well. But I usually use my Yakuza wooden identity. I quite like that one too.
But yeah, no, like if big decks are actually good, like that's fine. I personally
can we get that? I like big decks, and I cannot lie.
I do like big decks, and I cannot lie. But yeah, they actually seem like a thing, which could mean that you should not be playing this deck.
Personally, some other matchups. So the one key card in this whole like setup is Bankar. I think like the existence of Bankar both legitimizes PE because against the 45 card Bankar deck, you're just sitting very pretty.
Oh yeah, I didn't even mention that, but that was actually a big consideration too.
To play a 60 card deck because like you're not as stressed for finding your breakers. Although one of the few things you're gonna lose to as a 60 card deck is getting gear checked and you not finding your breakers and there being 2 eyes on the remote and then like well.
Yeah,
can actually win.
There are like drawbacks to it, but yeah, Bankar helps a lot, and I think also Bankar is the reason you can even play 60 card Hoshiko at all.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah. Hey there, Sindarin in the chat. Welcome to the stream. Right now we're just waiting for any opponents who would love to to get grinded. but I
Finn,
should specify.
don't use the G word on stream. Come on, man.
I mean,
To be
rave,
cut.
rave. What are you cutting?
No, nothing. It would be cool to have Axu run up against us, maybe. Although, okay, we'll run up on because Axu was the only person in Estonia and Finland who actually won against me, but like on the boat back from the tournament.
So now we're up against 47 card Tau.
Beautiful.
What the hell? Like, it's Tau. It's 40 cards. That's the whole point, no?
I think we mull this. Like I would like to just dump the Regenesis in the remotes. It'd be funny, but I think we mull this.
Yeah. You have to mull, right? Okay.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. That's nice.
No, I'm very surprised. Like, if you want to have a bigger deck, why not just play Lat? But maybe the ice swapping is slightly annoying for us.
Yeah, definitely. I think like it's definitely going to mess up our positioning to the point where against any other idea, just be like an enemy HQ Tithe R&D. Here, I actually have to think like, is that right or not? But I think it's still okay. So I would do Anemone HQ.
Mm-hmm. Is it like?
If we're being silly, I want to do a Spin Doctor remote, Sisentan remote.
Like, I was almost about to like suggest Sisentan HQ, Tithe R&D, Anemone Archives. Because sometimes if you poison Archives with Oboe, or you try to get that Oboe still, they run there, then you can like pitch a Kusanagi.
I don't think we want to ice Archives because it gives them a swap target that like can nullify or Anansi in a lot of cases. So I don't think that's good. I think... Okay, Finn, do you respect your opponent or not?
Let's respect them. We're respectful over
Good.
here.
Definitely. Then let's put the Tithe on R&D.
And credit.
And... no, install a Spin Doctor in the remote.
Alright, let's see what we're up against. Telework. Beth. Okay. It could just be like Shapehawk or something. So we draw. Retribution.
Res Spin Doctor.
Oh, but we can pitch the Oboes, I guess.
Yeah. One is draw.
Yeah. Draw, install Rashida, pitch Oboes or something. Or just Rashida, Sisentan, protecting it.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be my line. Rashida Sisentan.
Yeah, seems good. We're not really in a rush to pitch the Oboes yet, I suppose.
We could be. Like, I think Brandon, for example, would definitely reshuffle the Oboes here, which makes sense because now they're doing it. But I'm okay with that. So, because like, I want to regenesis those Oboes.
Yeah, fair enough. So we pop
Let's
this, right?
Reza Rashida, yes.
Okay, there's another spin.
Very good. Now, I think it's... I think it's Anansi on the remote, hedge fund. Yeah.
Okay, and then?
I'm gonna look at the board state then.
Maybe we want to try to score an Oboe here, actually. Before they get breakers out.
It's not a bad one. I'm not... So, this is a very Bridgman line. So you're suggesting put the Oboe in the remote now?
Yeah.
Like just do the things I said. So just hedge fund Anansi on the remote.
Yes. But then
Spin Doctor in the remote.
oh. And what are you pitching?
Start Kusanagi.
So Ba says Tau can help against rush decks, which are your weakness as a large deck, as mentioned. So maybe that's the thought here. I feel like honestly, Tau is more of a late game ability in my opinion, because like you don't know what you're swapping until the ice are rest, which happens only after you start breaking ice.
Okay. Rest Spin Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I think they install a cleaver, which is funny because we don't have any.
Yeah. That often happens because they don't know the list, and I love every time when it happens.
Then we. Okay. Do you think it's Seisenthal on Archives?
No, it's we gotta rewind back and install the oboe. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I guess. I think so. Maybe.
I don't know.
If you're trying to set up
I
for...
think... Wait, what's our R&D as his tithe, right? I'm going to put the I'm going to put the Seisenthal on R&D.
Okay.
I'm going to click for 2 credits and discard 2 oboes.
Yeah, that makes sense. There might still be a scoring window for the other oboe. So we pop the spin, I guess. They have to still like Kusanagi here. So Cinderin says no barriers question mark. Yeah, exactly. Fortunately, there are not that many good barriers in Jinteki. There's Shiashi, which is way too expensive, and then there's Envelope, which doesn't do as much as Diviner for the cost, and they end up breaking it for like 2 credits.
They swapped the... Yeah, so, I think we do rest Anemone here, and we pitch an oboe.
Oh, you pitch oboe?
Yes.
I did not expect that. Okay.
I know you didn't. We fire...
This is last click too. This is crazy how risky this is.
True. Rest the tithe, fire
so
up.
They are kind of likely to just die if they continue. Yeah. I'm not even sure what you're hoping for if you continue here, because the best that can happen is you get 1 point and survive.
True. Okay. Install Spin Doctor in new remote reset.
We can even retribution stuff here, but I guess none of this stuff matters.
I'm going to trap for death probably, but I don't think we're going to retribution.
So you said there's been new remote?
Yep, and res.
I feel like I know what your play is going to be.
Yeah. Regenesis server 2. So in the long game, this is a bad play, but I want to put the Nancy on R&D. Sorry, on Archives here.
Wait, not trashing the buff?
Wait.
Or on Archives is what you're saying. To protect...
Let me think about that. No, you're right, because, yeah, let's trash the Beth. That's a good play.
Well, I feel like, actually, the play to put an answer in Archive sort of secures the Regenesis, which I like.
But no. Forget about that. Trash the Beth. I like trashing the Beth here. Right. Because, like, think about it as well. Like, there's still a new Steam in Archives. If they run it again, it's not free for them. Pop Spin Doctor, but don't shuffle the oboe. Shuffle back Spin Doctor and Rashida.
Rashida, okay. I would definitely have gone for the Anansi play just because then for sure we get that. Oh.
Res Seisentan to kill the runner, but like even.
I say this every stream, but people just have like no chill on Jinteki.
It's a general effect. Like I think it's also like this is a competitive deck. Like keep that in mind. You know, like most people are kind of like. So I think there's a frustration.
We're calling event, right? Or.
Yeah, but I think we should just win here.
I think so, yeah. Unless there's still something.
But Even if like we didn't have to rest there, and if we don't rest, we get to score the oboe regenesis.
Yeah. But it's just a shame because I feel like the games end before, before the finale, so to speak, People just suicide.
Oh, Harold's saying I'm chewing my ice cubes a bit too loud, I think. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Hey,
allegedly you shouldn't even chew ice
let's
cubes.
go.
It's supposed to
I
be
think
bad for your
like I
teeth.
want to lose at least once today just to show how the deck can lose. So I'm kind of like, this is good.
No, we have to show that the deck cannot lose.
Of course it can. I like this hand
Yeah.
actually. Let's keep it.
Yeah, we don't even have to put a card in archives to like
I
make
think
it.
actually it might be on Turbine actually, so that's something to look out for.
Oh, he's teching for us.
No, it's just been playing Turbine for a long time now. So
Yeah, I'm
I put
just Ice HQ and R&D and take credit. I think I would do that.
this is the Bridgman line of play. I guess that's reasonable. We can do that. So yeah, huh. It's still tricky. Like where because
on
like
R&D.
I would really like to have a Saisentan on the remote here, but I don't think we can. We can do that.
It's just so good to have the backwards Ice be like a big one against an archetype.
Yeah, right.
But if they're on Bugalter, maybe it's not as good.
Yeah. I think Axel is definitely on Bugalter, like if he's playing what I think he's playing. So, but in that case, like Tide is also not going to stopgap them for a long time.
Axel says the best Ice ever printed. I guess he's playing now, so he won't be hearing us. But it's funny that Saisentan has gotten 3 kills, I think, so far. You'd think that that's the main win condition in the deck. And Quilana says Jinteki too strong. True. But maybe not this deck.
Let's see.
Alright, so we gotta make a move, right?
Yes. Okay. I trust your instincts. Typhon HQ, Saisentan R&D, and credit.
Very good. I like it. And this could be one of those games where maybe we draw into enough ice to go for like an early Regenesis play. That's sort of safe.
It could be, yeah. But I'm also like having the stock is nice too. Okay. Ooh, yeah. Again, like okay.
I would install Kusanagi.
Is there a world in which, like, yeah. I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking. I don't think I will draw.
You will draw?
Yes.
Okay.
Very good. I'm going to install new Steam. See, there we go. He wants to flip. Let's give him the. Oh, well, if he says that, okay.
Well, that's why we're installing the new Steam, so he can get the flip, right?
Yeah, but we could also just credit dump Kusanagi and new Steam. I love the mind games here. Okay. What's actually going to do?
There's gonna be a card in archives eventually anyway, right?
Yeah. But
I would maybe install Rashid and new Steam now.
That's where my brain went immediately, and then I started exploring more unorthodox lines of drawing again, clicking for a credit, and just discarding the new Steam and the Kusanagi.
Huh.
Actually,
that feels like a waste.
I think I click for 2, discard new Steam.
Because like I find that like, so discarding is sort of tempting because it's an easy way to get stuff into archives if you expect them to run there. But also, like, anytime you install something, you're asking them sort of a question, like, do you want to check this card? And I feel like there's some
Yeah.
inherent value in that,
Now,
even
like,
if they don't. Oh,
I guess. So Axel has to take the news team here, I think, because like yeah, he's very afraid of like being the Bugalta, I think.
yeah. Yeah, Boss says everyone just forgets, doesn't respect Saisentan. If your techie is on at least 7 to 8 credits, it usually seems so low risk to barrel into their eyes. Yeah, I guess so, but a lot of people are on Saisentan now, I think. Maybe not in the most common PE list at the moment. Maybe that's why
Minor
we're
is
getting
it?
so many.
You forget. So I think it's draw.
Ooh, draw. Okay. So Rashida with Diviner on top?
Yes, yes, let's do that.
Yeah, a lot of our kills might be attributed to people expecting one of the other popular PE lists where Saisentan is not present. And just getting like...
This is another
punished.
situation where we're playing DNA Tracker as well, because this Bugalta is going to make breakage quite easy otherwise.
Well, what I find is like, as long as you end up in a situation where you can stack like 2 sentries on top of each other, then it's okay.
Res the Diviner, please.
Yes. And I will fire it. And it does end the run, which is good.
Yeah, we hit a twinning. Twinning not always safe against P, but still good to have. And we fire Rashida here.
Nice.
Find some cards. And they flip down, so they might be running into archives again. Yep.
That's what the other news team is for.
Exactly. We're going to Saisentan on the remote.
Yep. And House of Knives.
House of Knives in the remote.
Credit.
And yes, and just dump the
or we
news
jump
team.
Kusanagi, Sting, and news team, and then stock buyback becomes like super good.
I'm not in a rush. I think I want to make them pay for the, I'll credit here.
Okay. Yeah, I just feel like they're low enough right now that I think so. News team and Kusanagi, right?
Yep. So I understand what you're saying here, but like...
Yeah, because I find if you get like really good buybacks rolling early, then like you're better able to protect the other scores. So you can sacrifice that one sting, and also then your other stings become better when you score them.
In general, that's very true, and I think I agree with the theory. But in practice here, like we're not forced to play the stock immediately. So I figure like they're going to get to that sting or like another agenda eventually, and then we can just play it.
Yeah. He just ends up avoiding it altogether.
Now we're going to dump... we draw an oval. Okay, so no matter what, we're scoring a House of Knives here.
Yep.
Which is very good, because that's gonna tax them for cards eventually.
We hit the console.
Yeah. So what do we dump here?
I think I'd still dump... Well, I think I'd still dump Sting. Or unless you want to go for...
Because I think we're next...
Oh, wait. He doesn't want to run Archives, though, so we could dump Obo and go for a Regenesis play.
Exactly. So, like, next turn is going to be install something remote, click for 2, probably, right?
Yeah.
So, like...
I'm very tempted to... Well, we could dump Obo next turn, too, but... Dump Sting
I think we dump... I'm okay with dumping the Obo here.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm thinking if we're gonna do it
next turn, if we do what we want to do, then we don't actually get to. The problem is like that the remote is not all that tight, right? So like the Saisentan doesn't really stop them, and this is the scenario I was like thinking of, which is part of why.
Yeah.
I don't rest the tithe here. I think that's fine.
Yeah. Do we use House of Knives here, maybe?
No.
Alright. Snare? That we use.
Yes. Yeah. Good Stargate hit.
Yeah.
Okay. And now we Raw. Oh, nice. Yeah, no, just install the Regenesis and click for 2, I think is good.
Yeah. Because either he has to run archives and like enable the stock buybacks, or we get the Regenesis, and both scenarios are. Oh wait, there's also this. This is the problem.
So I think that's fine. He goes through here. Yep.
Any action?
No, this is fine.
Yeah.
Oh, we hit the other Stargate. Very good. We draw a Retribution.
I might have used like House of Knives one time there, maybe just to induce a little bit of fear.
So, like in this particular matchup, like unless the House of Knives is like threatening a win, I just want to hold on. Sorry, I'm thinking about the game state here. I think one is actually draw. Very good. 2 is install Sting in the remote. 3 is credits.
Credit.
No. Huh. I'm gonna be greedy, but like I want more stock value.
I feel like maybe with this play we would put the House of Knives so that if they don't run, we get more value from the score. Oh, there's Turbine too.
Perhaps.
Oh, it's one of those.
Yeah.
One of those lists, yeah. So this is what I was talking about in like the pre-talk, where if they have like a really good rig for breaking, it can be a real problem because now he can dedicate most of his time just to running. Okay, so it is our turn.
Mandatory. Perfect. Okay, just score the Sting and discard the Kusanagi.
And he's playing around stock buyback pretty well. Like we need a lot of cash to rest.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. Just let that happen. Ooh,
I don't like that we're under
I think
snare
here
range. I feel like maybe we should have played stock buyback instead.
Let him come through here.
Yep.
And then hit with House of Knives.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So get the anemone.
That's fine. We click for 2 and put anemone on archives, I think is the play. Just because I want to maintain stock money. You could also play one of the stocks here, which might not be wrong, but...
Yeah, I would be tempted to like maintain the ability.
Yeah.
To
let him come.
Yeah.
The thing to keep in mind that happens as well. That's fine. But hit him with a House of Knives there. Oh. Yeah. Haha! He's taking a page out of the Bridgman. Let's take some notes, baby.
We respect it. I love that.
Yeah.
Taking notes is really good.
Actually,
guys, always take really notes.
Cool. Yeah. And again, like I went undefeated the whole tournament, and actually like decided to ID with me because I think he was a bit intimidated. And then like on the way back, we played the games we would have played, and he won both. So.
Was this which tournament was this?
Baltic Nationals.
Oh, cool. Is he from around there?
Yeah, he's from Finland.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he's usually in chat. Very nice guy.
Yeah.
Okay. We got a daily cast.
Yes. Okay. Ooh.
So I guess now maybe just House of Knives in the remote, let them steal it so we can stock buyback for a lot of cash.
No, Finn, it's snare in the remote. Click for 2.
Is that your play?
Yes.
Are we even happy if he runs the snare? Because I don't know. We get so long.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because at this point, like we're trying to look. It's Hoshiko. Like every time Hoshiko accesses, she has to draw a card next turn, so he can't sit back and not draw cards, basically. So we're just going to get all his cards and win that way.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just assuming you wouldn't rest the size in 10.
Yeah. I mean, if there was no
do you want a House of
turbine,
Knives?
no. This House of Knives I'm going to save, I think, for like a critical moment.
Yeah.
So he deduces Steel Skin, Dreamnet, that's fine. He's gonna have to clear the tag, draw
So
up,
only 19
back
cards
to-
left.
So what's our archives now? Can you show me?
Yeah, it's Oboe, 2 Kusanagi, and News Team.
There's already 2 snares in archives, which is a bit unfortunate. So I'm thinking maybe it's just purge here. I don't know. Well, although like it doesn't really advance our game state, so maybe that's not that good.
I think I would just install the House of Knives, but maybe we can purge if you want to. I was thinking House of Knives, get it stolen, then go for some stock buyback plates, and eventually a Regenesis play.
Let's do that. That's fun.
So credit.
Yeah. Represent the last snare, but I think he's gonna run it anyways. Like that's just correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, but that's part of the plan to activate the stock buybacks.
Yes.
So, like we can afford this because he's only at 1 point now.
I think, yeah, if he's been taking notes, he also knows that most of our hand is retributions and maybe stock buybacks.
So Ba says Jinsei quotes, "We're just going to pause whilst Jinsei search for a phrase that doesn't grind them out." Nice. True. That's called cool. Out. You got called out. Okay, so
I feel like it's very legit. Wait, what's our, okay, HQS is wait, what's our HQS?
Tithe on HQ.
R&D?
Size and 10, then we got Anemone on archives, another size and 10 on the remote.
Okay. I think it's purge, discard, or retribution.
Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Running R&D.
Yep, that happens.
That fires. Well, actually,
it's a bit like if he
fires, pay to. Well, I guess he's gonna run again, but he needs to use Taka here.
True.
Right.
That's
Do
fine.
we rest the tithe?
No way. No, never rest the tithe actually, because it's very positive with the Taka and the.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is. Maybe I already mentioned this, but this is what I was talking about. Like now we're basically just thinking about the cards and not that much about cash.
Yep.
But it might transition to a phase where we care about cash if we get enough money to put enough taxing eyes on the remote. Which is sort of what I want to protect the Regenesis play.
It's interesting as well, like if they run... Ooh, okay. Taka gonna...
Wait, is he gonna take the tag? Because this list doesn't play labor rights, right? So if the book altar is gone, then it's gone. So Taka is just gonna have to be trashed. Yeah, should have used Taka. I guess we'll let him do that, right? Or
the problem with that is like if he finds an agenda there, that the Taka still pops. Yeah, it's fine. Let him do it. This is the unbound policy of gentle takebacks.
Yeah, I mean, technically it did gain information, but since it's not a tournament, we're, you know.
Yeah, like in a tournament, I think I wouldn't. But
No,
in
yeah.
this instance, I think it's...
Yes, in a tournament, I would only do take back is like if they didn't gain anything.
No.
Okay.
Ooh,
hedge.
pretty good. I think that means, yeah, credit, hedge, and put the Anansi on R and D.
Wait, not the remote? Aren't we trying to score this thing?
We're never going to tax them with money on the remote, I feel.
We just need like 2 Anansis on there.
That's still like...
Yeah, but we have 2 stock buybacks.
Nah. No, but it's like it's 6 credits to the runner, and they have Ataka as well, so it's only like 5 real credits. I think like that's never going.
No, there's a size and 10 as well. We make them go through a couple times, you know. But
no.
All right.
No.
So Anansi and R&D is what you're saying.
Anansi and R&D, yes. Like I respect your line here. I think it makes sense, but my line is find the spin doctor, shuffle the snares back, and just like snare them over and over. So wait, they probably have hippo. So I think we
that's
don't rest.
We have not seen
just
any hippos.
Yeah.
Do you want to rest the size and 10?
No.
Yeah.
Or no. It's 0 credits basically with the Taka. It doesn't make sense. They trash Rashida, they come in again. Yep. Yes. So
there's Keiko. See, there's the second Anansi.
Yeah, put the second Anansi on R&D.
What? I feel like this loses by force, but I mean, I'm not the pilot.
Stock buyback.
Credit stock buyback. Okay.
Yeah. Let him through the first one, res the second Anansi.
Yep. Because the thing is, like, if the remote, if we can't do things in the remote, he can actually just chill. Like we don't even he doesn't need to run.
Yeah. But like think about it as well. There's been no spin doctors popped yet, right?
We call event.
Yes, but like this is always getting broken.
Yes, maybe because you are running DNA tracker, we can still make the remote taxing enough. Ooh, oboe.
Ooh. Very good.
Yeah, so we have an oboe in archives.
Yes. We draw. Very good. One is... Oh, sorry. I meant mandatory, but no, that's fine. No, I would have drawn there anyways. I just would have spent a little bit of time thinking about it.
So this is a buyback turn.
2 is draw. 3 is buyback, yeah.
Very good. Yeah, now we definitely need the spin doctor.
Let him in.
Yep.
Draw.
Wait, so there's 9 cards left. Interesting.
Credit. Very good.
Oh, he has to trash the Taka, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we draw. There it is. Very good.
Perfect. This was planned. And only 9 cards left. That's not that much. Do we like spin in remote, install Anansi, No, oh shit, but he can hippo the Anansi, I guess.
Yeah, like the hippo complicates things. I don't know
Yeah.
where the Anansi is supposed to go here.
I think still Anansi on the remote so that we can then put something else there, but I don't know.
Okay, but I think like we overinstalled
The diviner.
the
Yeah.
botulus. Yep.
So
But I'm not. I'm thinking about the Anansi here, but no matter what, like we're putting the spin in the.
unless you want to draw first, that's the only.
No. I'm just like.
I
I think it's
either credit or draw,
spin.
right?
I think it's spin in new remote,
Okay.
sting in server 1,
Mm-hmm.
and stock buyback.
Oh. Okay. Because you want the Sai Senten to be hippoed instead of the Anansi? Because that makes sense, but I don't know if he will actually use the hippo on that.
I wasn't even thinking about that, but sure, let's assume that's what I was going for.
Okay, so the sting will deal at least 2 more damage. I guess if he steals it, it's 3. And then 1 more from the House of Knives, 4. We need to do 1 more before oboes are unstealable, and then we can win from there.
For me, this is a great illustration of the difference between the stack in Swiss and the cut as well. Like those early games where you just breezed through them, those were the Swiss games. But this is where it gets serious, and we have to think quite hard about like every
prepared.
It's beautiful. I'm very grateful for Aksu because I kind of want to show off how this deck can lose as well.
Hey, we're not losing. It's okay.
I know. Like, hypothetically,
in
like we can
a
at least
hypothetical
imagine.
world where we end up losing this game. Yeah, no, it's this is tight. This is a spot where you end up a lot, where it's like really tight. We rest here, right? Or
On the rim,
because we have so much cash.
I think.
Like, we don't mind hippo being used. Because if they install another hippo, that's 1 net damage, basically.
Install hippo, take 1 net damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. You convinced me. That's fine.
Yeah, because we have enough money to rest like all of our stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
It is hippoed.
They will continue.
Yep. All right. So no reason to use House of Knives or Spin Doctor, right?
No. Well, before the axis, I think like it becomes interesting. Like, yeah. Naming event. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like credits are
but I think
actually becoming a factor. So
yeah, just let them have the axis. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Just accept the 1 in 18 to find the oboe off the top, but that's not it.
Yeah.
Fermenter.
Oh, what?
Very. See, this was my second.
Because he was about to discard. But then it's probably better to go for the remote.
Yes.
Do you want to shuffle before we draw? I guess not, right?
No. Just draw. Because yeah, like this was a safe card. Just score the sting. And now, like, Aksu is very close to not being able to steal oboes anymore. Especially with the House of Knives there as well. And the enemy on our archives actually says that this oboe has become unstealable in there.
So 3 more damage means oboe is unstealable.
Yeah, but the archives oboe is already unstealable. unless there is a random hush out of nowhere, because there's an enemy on archives.
Oh, that's a important point.
Yeah. So at this point, I think I have a very fun line here. So just let him through, but then before access.
Mm-hmm.
Let me have a look at archives, please.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, before access, res spin doctor.
All right. Oh, you want to shuffle back the snares?
Exactly. Shuffle back the
Very
snare.
good, sir. 2 snares, right?
Yes. And we can just
I love
one
this.
and say we lose this, but I think we just take it.
And now it's access.
Yes.
Oh, it's Sting. Oh, 2 cards left. Oh my
Right,
god.
and we have community now, so like we just find an agenda somewhere.
If we can score a hybrid release. Wait, no. Yeah, so this is still tied. But we can put Anemone on R&D to like secure that completely now.
Oh, yeah, good point.
But he still has 1 more turn, so he can still find a point somewhere.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the fact that R&D is still quite porous. Like, that's true. Okay, draw a card. Run HQ.
Here we res, right?
Yes, yeah. Res the tithe.
It's only 2 credit tax, but it's something.
True. Well, 1 credit. They're probably gonna. No.
And it does like using House of Slaves makes sense, right? Because there's no reason not to.
There's no reason. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Do it. Okay.
Oh. Wait. If we install this with no.
Exactly. So it's do we believe in our deck?
Oh, actually, yeah, because we can score the oboe, of course. So
exactly.
Yeah, for sure we go for this, right?
I think we just believe in deck, but I think it's new remotes, install Regenesis, install the Anemone. Wait, have a look at this heap. Actually,
isn't it more suspicious if we make a new remote?
Doesn't matter, Finn. Have a look at the heap. Because the one thing that ends us is a second copy of Hush. Like, if he puts a Hush on Anemone and then runs it, we lose. Everything else, we win the game.
But then it's even more important to put it in the existing remote, because then he might misfire the Hush.
So you're right, but the third click for me I want to do is put the Anansi on R&D.
Okay, so
more expensive. So I'm not sure if we have enough money to do all those things. Like, it's trash.
Yeah, if we keep 1 of the ice on the remote, we pay 1, and then we pay 2 more. Then we're at 12 credits. So we still have enough to res Anansi and.
Yeah.
Okay, so we go for that.
And we even have enough to fire a stare in theory.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay.
Okay. Although I don't know if we need this Anansi. I guess he has the cash too. Yeah, he has the cash too.
Yeah. I think I don't even know if it's enough, but it's at least further dissuading.
This HQ
run doesn't do anything, so that's good.
Yeah. Does that mean we're winning now? It's 5 to break Anansi. We got 2 of them. So that's 10.
No,
so you can't get through everything.
But you get a as well. So it's 8.
Jai says, "What up, Mr. Bridge? What up, chat? Hey, Jai, what's up?" And it says, "Grats on the internets. Intercontinental's card reveal, by the way, it looks super sick. Thank you. I'm very happy about it. I got it as my icon.
Can I tell Steam about Fadonis campaign?
Yes, you may, but first you have to make a decision here.
Yeah, we definitely res like this the last click of the game.
Yeah. We might still lose, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. But that's the excitement of Netrunner, you know, when you're up against a good player, like even on the last click, you don't know who's winning just yet.
So if we score the Regenesis, I want to win on points and not the ID trigger.
Um, no.
You're just denying all of my fun for no reason. What's the odds here, by the way? There's one
Um,
House of Knives and 2 hybrid release. So 3 out of 15. 20%.
yes.
Okay, 20% chance. Miss.
But that was still a great line. But see, it's the DNA tracker. DNA tracker better than diviner confirmed.
Because that, yeah, exactly.
All right, now do the net damage.
No, can I
Do the
please
net.
do the oboe? I so
Okay.
badly I want to do.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Fine.
Flightline
After all,
and
we're an
score.
honest scoring deck. We're not winning by net damage.
No, we're not a grinder. We score out, guys. The flatline came after the game was over, so wow, that was a crazy game. That was a lot of fun. I'm gonna call that as the last game of the stream because we've been
So
going
too,
for a
but
while.
I still want to tell stream about Fadonis campaign.
Yes.
Actually, let me say as well, because I think he's back on stream now. That was an incredible game. You played that really, really well. You were the only person today who came close to winning, and you almost won the game. So you can actually be very proud of yourself. I think that was really well done.
Yeah. That was very nice.
And yeah, Fadonis campaign is my suggestion for an Intercontinental's alt art, which is Adonis campaign, but it's Finn, and there's 3 different arts, so that every time you remove a counter, Finn loses a bit of his clothing, like on the art. We need to make it happen, so we have to win Intercontinentals again this year.
By the way, I figure, yes, that that would be hilarious. I guess as long as I'm here, I could show the full art version of the card that just is about to come out for those who've missed it. Well, I mean, you can barely see it in the reveal, so I figure I might as well share this. And yeah, do you have any other closing thoughts, Leopold? Thanks for coming on, by the way. This was a lot of fun. It's been a
Closing
long time in
thoughts.
the making.
It's been really good.
Oh, I need to
I
move my
really,
face.
really enjoyed it. I think like my closing thought is that, so for me, my next evolution, my personal evolution
Personal
from this
evolution.
was the Thousand Knives build, which was like a conglomeration of this build with like a Keeling, Warrior Tracker, Ag Infusion deck, and I just like mashed them together. It was this like crazy brewing happening in the lab, and somehow that worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
But I think like there is something closer to the original list that. So full disclosure, like I am going to Spanish nationals, and there's a
When's that, by the way?
list. In about 3 weeks, I think. So this will be the 17th and 18th of June in Valencia, and there's a change I made to this list, which is very similar to a list I want to bring to Spanish nationals, and I suppose I was a bit afraid of like people finding out about it, so that's why today we played more of the lists that are already public and that are already known, and yeah, maybe after I played there, we can bring it back on stream as well.
Sorry, which list did you say?
The secret one, the one that we can't talk about.
Oh, okay. Very good. All right, so I'll just respond to some of the comments. So Axu said, I was not stream sniping with the deck, by the way. That was my last AMT deck. Yeah, no, I was just kidding around, Axu. I know. And thanks for the game. That was a cool game. And they did. I feel like yes, they did do my haircut justice. It ended up. There was some versions where it looked less like me, and I feel like it ended up looking more like me. So I'm very happy about it.
Can we just also say how much Elizabeth Mills's drip in this art. Like her fashion style is just like out of this world. You know.
She is on point. I like her
sure.
just her sort of stare
Yeah,
out
I like
into
your
the
suit as well,
explosion.
though. Like, did you choose to go with the green tie, or was this like something the
Yeah,
artist?
I specifically asked for a green tie because I
Yeah.
yeah, well, now I'm gonna sound really
Because you
pretentious,
love
but
Schaefer so
I feel
much, you're
like
like,
it matches my eyes. So yeah,
oh,
that's that's
nice.
why. So I have green ties at home, and I wanted one like that in the art. And I guess the rest of the suit was sort of inspired by Mr. Stone. Um,
Ah, yeah, that's
um,
nice.
all right. Yeah, then I will end it there. Thank you, Leopold, for coming on.
For
Thank you,
sure.
everybody,
No,
for watching.
thank you everyone for popping in, especially Axley, like for a really really good game,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everyone who's
that
watching.
was a really good one to end the stream on because finally we got one that was really down to the wire, which is what we want to see, right? So, so
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Um,
yeah, thanks for coming on. It was great.
um,
All right, like, comment, subscribe, all that bullshit. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.